India has confirmed it is buying crude oil and LPG from Iran amid supply disruptions in West Asia. New Delhi says energy supplies remain secure and Indian ships continue to cross the Strait of Hormuz. The Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas says Indian refiners have secured their crude requirements, including supplies from Iran. Officials also rejected claims that an Iranian oil cargo was diverted from Vadinar port to China due to payment issues, calling the reports factually incorrect. The government says India's energy requirements are fully secured for the coming months. On LPG supplies, the government confirmed that the vessel Seabird, carrying 44,000 metric tons of Iranian LPG, has berthed at Mangalore port and is currently discharging cargo. Officials say India imports crude from more than 40 countries and companies have flexibility to source oil based on commercial needs. This marks the first confirmed Iranian oil purchase since 2019. After sanctions followed the JCPOA disrupted trade, the Strait of Hormuz remains a key concern for India's energy security. 8 Indian ships have successfully crossed the Strait of Hormuz. These vessels were headed to Indian ports, including Mundra, Kandla, Mumbai, and New Mangalore. The Indian Navy has deployed warships under Operation Urja Suraksha in the Gulf of Oman to support safe passage. On the diplomatic front, India has relied on engagement with Iran to ensure safe transit through the region. Several Indian-flagged vessels remain stranded in the Persian Gulf, and New Delhi is continuing talks for safe passage. And joining us live from New Delhi is our Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Sidhant Subol. Sidhant, maybe you can tell us more about this development that India is getting crude oil from Iran amid the war.
Well, Eric, you've already given the facts of the matter, but the big picture is a significant geopolitical development. India has started to import energy, both crude oil and LPG, from Iran, something that was at a pause since 2019 when sanctions were imposed on Iran. And now this development coming at a time when we know, first thing, that there is a war in West Asia. The second, of course, the Americans have given a 30-day waiver when it comes to buying the Iranian oil, which is on the sea, a similar mechanism that has been given when it comes to Russian energy as well. But clearly, a big geopolitical development at a time when we know that India is engaged with Iran on one specific front, that is allowing Indian ships to transit Hormuz. Earlier in the day, we know that another vessel, India flag vessel, transited the Hormuz. This is the 8th such vessel to transit Hormuz of the Indian side since the war started on 28th of February. And it clearly shows that how, of course, India has been engaged. In fact, the Indian External Affairs Minister has spoken to the Iranian Foreign Minister 4 times since the war broke out. And the Indian Prime Minister has spoken to the Iranian President 2 times. And essentially, when it comes to India able to get its vessel passed through Hormuz right now, in fact, I must give you the fact that there are 17 vessels still in the west of Hormuz, the Indian flag vessels. But clearly, it is the maximum number amongst any country when it comes to India getting its vessels transited through Hormuz. But all in all, we know that the focus of the Indian government is a priority on its energy sourcing. When it comes to crude, India is already importing and sourcing crude oil from 41 countries. India is increasingly diversifying its LPG energy as well, sourcing as well, at a time when Qatar has been majorly impacted. In fact, India used to import and continues to, depending on the situation on the ground, almost 70 to 80% of its LPG requirements from Qatar. But that, it looks like, is currently not on the mark, given the fact that how the country has been hit by attacks.
Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Sidhant Subol, thank you very much for that update.